Welcome to Tech Talk. This week, we're going to talk about another of the recent buzzwords that has the potential to change the way you do business and manage your personal life, but you may not have a clue as to what it actually is.
Blockchain?
I'm talking about blockchain technology.
Blockchain, 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 blockchain.
Unless you've been holed up in a cave, you've probably heard the word being tossed around, but understandably, you may not know what blockchain tech actually refers to.
But Dave, I'm confused. What is a blockchain?
Now, I'm by no means an expert in blockchain tech, but I'm going to take a quick stab at demystifying the general concept for you. Essentially, blockchain technology refers to the distribution of data as an incorruptible digital ledger of transactions. That is to say, data is distributed via a decentralized peer-to-peer network that's essentially always in sync rather than being copied and shared among parties. Put another way, blockchain is a shared, trusted, public ledger of transactions that everyone can inspect, but no single user controls or owns. To use an analogy, imagine that you create a spreadsheet that needs reviewed and updated among your peers. Historically, you might attach a copy of that spreadsheet to an email, send it over to John. John would make his changes and send it back to you. In the interim, while that spreadsheet languished in John's inbox, you'd have no way to view or update the final copy until John sent it back to you, since you're essentially locked out of the document while it's being revised by someone else. Now imagine that rather than sharing a copy of that spreadsheet via email, you created a shared spreadsheet in, say, Google Sheets and shared it with your colleagues. Now everyone's viewing a common copy of the spreadsheet stored on the cloud network and has the ability to make changes and see updates from the rest of the team essentially in real time. Now, of course, that's somewhat of a simplified analogy, but like that shared Google Sheet, information held on a blockchain exists as a shared and continually updated and reconciled database. First, a few definitions. Data is permanently recorded on the network through files called blocks. Now, we could talk about blocks ad nauseum, but essentially a block is a record of the most recent transactions, and those new blocks are added to the end of the record, the blockchain, and can't be overwritten or removed once added. The blockchain network is comprised of nodes, which could be any active electronic device on the network, including computers, phones, printers, or more. In the context of blockchains, a token is a digital identity for something that can be owned and are used somewhat as an identification and contracting tool. The basic workflow goes a little something like this. First, someone requests a transaction. Now, that could be a money exchange, a document, digital assets, or anything else. Next, the requested transaction is broadcast to the peer-to-peer network consisting of nodes. This network of nodes validates the transaction and the user's status. Once verified, the transaction is combined with other transactions to create a new block of data for the ledger. This new block is then added to the existing blockchain in a way that's permanent and unalterable. At this point, the transaction's complete and everybody goes about their day. Now, there's obviously quite a bit more that goes into it than that, but just as with the internet, the bulk of us don't actually need to know the granular details of how it works to take advantage of blockchain technology. Originally designed to serve as a means of reconciling cryptocurrency transactions, blockchain tech has evolved, and beyond the obvious benefits for financial transactions, it can be used for all sorts of other transactions. Think about the vast number of transactions in our own industry: proofs, purchase orders, payments, invoices, and more. Today, in many cases, copies of those transactions are sent around via email, potentially losing track of versions or copies being out of sync. Imagine if you were to leverage blockchain tech for those types of transactions, and each transaction was transparent and incorruptible. The consensus and reconciliation of the blockchain network could vastly improve efficiency, accuracy, and accountability. Now, I'm sure your eyes are glazing over about now, so if you really want to geek out on the details of blockchain tech, hit up the interwebs. There's all sorts of entertaining overviews out there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Tech Talk.